Thanks, Don. Appreciate that confirmation. Well, we might as well just get started right out of the gate here, huh? Let me get over to the lab and turn. Hang on a second. My lab mic is not on. Hold on one sec. That ad source. There we go. All right. So, how is everybody? Looks like my screen on there is a little bit off. That's interesting. Let me I got to go through all my settings again because it seems like it will adjust once in a while, which means you're going to be off the page. So let's go here. Try and get everything back in queue here. Here, and down. Whew, that's better. All right. Welcome, everybody. This is ZENcast Live. This is Paul Pedron, product manager of ZENworks Service Desk and Hybrid Workspaces, and joined into the UEM portfolio where we have other product managers. Just want to check in with you guys. It's year end. We're going to keep it light today. We're going to keep it short today so you can get back to what you need to do to close things down for the holidays, right? So today we're going to talk a little bit about where we came from, a look back, and a look forward to what's coming up in ZENworks, what you can be excited about, what you can look forward to, and a lot of different changes that we did this past year that you may or may not have discovered. Excuse me. So we're going to go ahead and first, what is ZENcast? ZENcast Live is for ZENworks admins, ZENworks community. Even if you wanted to know a little bit about ZENworks, what is it? How does it work? This is a place to come to be able to see some of those details. We meet the first and third Tuesday of every month at 9 o'clock Mountain Time, North America. And you could always go back and see the recordings on the Micro Focus Support and Training YouTube channel to see past recordings. And some of that is, if you go down to IM&G, here we have the ZENcast. These are all the ZENcasts. But if we've done a ZENcast on ZENworks, we'll also include it in this one. Or if we did a ZENcast on Service Desk, it'll be on the ZENcast and the Service Desk. But you can see the full playlists here on the YouTube channel. So if you're feeling a little bit left out, oh, this is new, what is this all about? That's what it's all about, being able to get the information to you to be able to interface with us live and be able to ask questions, and hopefully we can resolve some things. We have topics each month, and we go through those. A little bit of house cleaning. If you subscribe, you'll get notifications when we go live to YouTube. You could log into the chat and interchange with your colleagues or with me on the channel live so that we can go ahead and discuss what you're asking. You can also put in the recordings. If you're watching this recording, you can put in comments and likes. That always helps to understand where you're coming from, or if you have questions, things we didn't cover, or you want covered, go ahead and put them in there. You could also email us at zen@microfocus.com, and we'd be happy to discuss with you what you're looking for. What is your environment needs? What are your requests for how-tos or scenarios or setups for your environment? So anyway, the best viewing is if you set your YouTube channel up to audio 720p60. And again, posted in the video description of the recording, you'll get links to this download, this particular presentation, which will have links in it, and links to references that we discuss on this particular cast, okay? One thing check back with this particular presentation in the description, because the PDF has not been uploaded to Filr yet because they're doing maintenance on my Filr. So you can always download it if you need to. But we're going to keep it short and simple. Recap of last week, we went through ZCM 2020 Update 3, USB scanner. What does it do? How to protect your USB ports. If you have a public or a kiosk type device, how do you shut down some of those things that you don't want the customer or the user using? For instance, a USB port, being able to put in a thumb drive, or being able to put in a hard drive, or copying things. So last week's was being able to, we brought up the USB scanner, we retrieved the identity of the devices, we imported those USB device identities into the USB policy, at which point we could say, turn off the USBs except for these particular type USB identities. That way your techs can go out and plug in and it works fine, but when somebody else plugs in, it won't work. Those types of things are active. So we talked a little bit about that, the controls over the USB devices, in some of the use cases, labs, classrooms, as I mentioned, kiosks or public devices, any of the organization devices you could tailor it to. And of course, ZCM is powerful. You can go right down to the device itself, or groups of devices, or the whole environment. So we talked a little bit about that last time. This time we're going to talk a little bit about a look back in 2022. What did we do? Well, we released UEM 2022 Update 3 for ZENworks. We're going into a new environment of patch management and anti-malware and those types of requests or features that are in ZENworks configuration management. We released those plus other things within the feature set. Also, we upgraded the ZENworks service desk from 8.3.0 to 8.3.0 early in the year, and then 8.3.1 in September. And that gave us things like token authentication if you use an OAuth with Gmail, or if you have your email set up with MS Modern Authentication. Those types of devices, those types of features are put in there. And then hybrid workspaces, we've gone through 22.1 through 22.9, and we just keep going on a regular cadence every 2 to 3 months on that particular product, adding new features, how you can actually stream your products across through a portal or locally. We've done a lot of different things with the ZENworks UEM line this past year. We put in some new collateral, things like the ZSD, the lookbooks that we have. So basically, you have, why upgrade, how to upgrade, different feature sets, what the version comparison chart is, what features you get in each one of them. So the lookbooks are very powerful in giving you a first-time entry into the ZENworks product, and then being able to get to the latest version if you're upgrading. Okay, we have things like customization cookbooks, we have upgrade cookbooks, maintenance TIDs, and so forth. There's how-to videos, as I mentioned, on the Micro Focus support and training website. We have the community. Don't forget about the community area. We have the ideas exchange, which is very powerful for you guys. It gives us great input on how many on ideas that you have to put into the product. For instance, service desk, and then changing the ticket from the subject line. If you email, so that way it can go to a different state, but you can vote here, and it gives us an idea of those types of features that the community is looking to put into the product. And each one of our products have this. Also discussions, things that come up in, I don't know why that's taken so long. Let's go over here. And so all of these have the different ideas exchange, and the discussion points and so forth, and announcements. Obviously, there's blogs that we have. ZENworks 2020 Update 3 was released, 8.3.1 was released, and so forth. So keep an eye on the community. It's very, very good news, gives you good ideas and things for you. Also interchanges with development and product managers and support. We all watch these type of areas so that we can interact with you guys and get you the answer as soon as possible. Okay, so that's a little bit of look back. We've added some extra collateral. We've added some extra videos, and we're working on training for the next year. So that's something that's always a big highlight. Okay, let's look forward. The UEM 2023. We're gonna be we're working real hard to get a 6 months cadence on ZENworks configuration management. So we're going to be releasing update 2 in, I heard, somewhere around April, and then towards the third quarter we're going to be doing 2024 going into the next year. And then ZENworks Service Desk, we're going to have 8.4.0 is already under construction. We're going to be doing things like more modernization and different details about customizing the product to your needs. We're going to also be doing, so that'll be in March timeframe, and then version 9 will be in the third quarter as well. So big release on version 9. We hope to have more of that customization done, some personal profiles taken care of, and some tweaks that you guys are asking for on the Ideas Exchange. Hybrid Workspaces, same thing. We're going to have a 2 to 3 month window for versioning and getting those to you so that we keep up with that product and keep those features coming for you. Another big announcement is, wow, got a phone call, but not for me. Another big announcement is, of course, we meet the first and third Tuesday, right, of every month. Well, in 2023, we're going to have monthly UAM webinars on the third Thursday. Okay, you can go ahead and register using this link. And you know what? I'll put this link in the chat just so you have it. Let's go here. Webinar link. Register here. Okay, so there's a link for you for the UEM. We're firing up the monthly product update webinars. This could be very similar to ZENcast, but in a different format of GoToMeeting. And when you register for this, you will have all these dates already posted in your calendars. Okay, and so you'll be able to just go ahead and register and see the topics that are coming up and so forth. This is going to be done by our SEs, Ron Van Herk and Bob Reynolds. So they're going to be initiating this. Some of these things may be very similar to the ZENworks ZENcast. We'll be passing some ZENcast stuff off to them. We'll see how that goes and see if we still need my first and third Tuesday. But we'll be committed to a first and third Tuesday for the first quarter. See how things are going with the webinars. We're just trying to get things to you in a different format to try and make it more formalized for you. So that's an exciting thing that's coming up. And these guys are in the field. I'm less in the field now that I'm not in support, so it's kind of hard for me to know all the new nuances that are coming across with the customers. So these guys are right in the thick of it. So their presentations are going to be awesome and be able to represent a good webinar for you. All right. So there's that webinar, and then as we mentioned, training and how-to videos on the Micro Focus support and training. You can just go to YouTube and then put in Micro Focus support and training, and then you'll just come up here. And if you have other Micro Focus products, you could see there's a whole different set of playlists here for the different products that are at Micro Focus, so that you can find things within it. Filr, GroupWise, the whole bit. Okay. So we're enhancing on that. Also training. We are working on. I'm working on a service desk training. It's probably going to be released with version 9 because that'll be a good jump to go to for version 9. We've been doing some of these how-tos and some of these training things with customers, and we're trying to find a good fit and format. So we think we'll have something by third quarter next year. Okay, something a little bit more formal for service desk. And I know on the ZENworks side in hybrid workspaces, we're also doing some details there. Okay. So, excuse me, January, the schedule is we're getting started, ZSD getting started. So service desk, if you own any part of the ZENworks product line, you have a minimum of 2 licenses for service desk. How do you get started? What do you do? You know, what are the details that need to come into play just to kickstart it and get it going quickly? And so even if you have the ZENworks suite, you have a lot of the ZENworks standard already in play. The licenses are already taken care of for you for the standard version. So just be aware that you may own stuff that you don't really know you have. The second one is identity on the 17th of January. We're going to do identity of old bundles and policies and why you want to, identify those. How often are they being used? What kind of reports can I run to see when it's been last launched? And maybe clean up some of those. Not just clean up the bundles and policies by removing them, but maybe the older versions of that same bundle because content. And as we know, content is replicated and that takes space and time. So what to do and how to identify those old bundles and policies and what to do with them. Future customer requests, again, there's a whole list here that you guys have been requesting. So we're going to try and get to those in 2023. And again, if you're looking for that schedule for ZENcast Live, it is here. You can see we added the ZENworks monthly 2023 webinars. You can register here. It's starting January 19th, every third Tuesday. The reason why it's the third Tuesday is we'll see in a later slide because Robin Redgrave has the first, second, and fourth Tuesday already for GroupWise, Filr, iPrint, OES, those types of things. So we kind of tucked into the third that wasn't occupied. So if you had those products every Thursday, you can get a little dose of the products for Micro Focus in this space. Okay, you can also see that we have a list of the upcoming schedule for ZENcast. Okay, and we'll try and figure out what the webinars are and maybe put those in here as well. That way you have a single landing page. Some of the other requests that are coming in is that we talked about. We did an overview of Update 3, a deep dive into Update 3. Darren will be back and do some patch management, some anti-malware, the DMZ, ZCC security, those types of things. Okay. If you do go to the bottom of the page, this is every ZENcast we've had. So you have the beginning of the topic, the particular topic itself. That's from the very get-go, ground zero, starting all the way through. Some of that is repeated, so I also put in where the demo starts. So if you go to this click over here, this link will get you directly to when it starts, the agenda. So, and sometimes we have a second demo. So I put that column in there as well. If you're looking for the documentation, here's the documentation and related. But the nice thing about this is you can easily search on ZSD and then you'll see all the ZSDs. Or if you're looking for memory or database, you can just search the page and see where those database activities are that we did ZENcast on. Okay. So that's exciting. Keeping that up, still going. One thing I do want to do before we get into the versions, current versions. We'll just go into the current versions. We're update 3, as everybody knows. We actually have December PRUs out there now, and Of course, you have FTF's 1012 is out there, so you can do your cumulative update. And then your imaging update July, and I did hear that they're working on another one. I don't know when it's going to be released. I'll try and get that information. ZRS is at 7.8, ZSD is 8.3.1, and hybrid workspaces is 22.9 at this point in time. So those are the versions currently in play. If we go to what's coming up, update 4 is being worked on right now. They're getting enhancements in, and it's to be announced. I haven't seen that yet. The 8.4 service desk is going to have two-factor authentication with the NetIQ AAF Lite. We're going to have some more modernization, some more customizations, and then hybrid workspaces in January or so will be released with its new features as well. All right, let's do a quick run through on this guy here from current slide. Run through the roadmap. You may or may not have seen this. If you've been to the events, you might have seen this. We obviously have to tell you that this is dates may change, but this is a quick UEM overview. We're not going to go through every slide, but we are going to go through some details that you might be interested in. We're going to talk a little bit about the portfolio, review of recent releases, look at upcoming releases and what's on the radar, which I think is the major thing. And this is about managing your devices and what we have to do and how UEM supports those particular activities. Also, how to get users what they need when they need it, right? And again, I'm just zipping through these so you can so we can get to the good stuff of the actual product release enhancements. But we want to show you, we have configuration management, we have endpoint security management, we have asset management. Again, full disk encryption, patch, and service desk, and ZENworks reporting. And all of this pretty much is, as you can see, the dotted line is in the suite. And then you have hybrid workspaces and endpoint backup. So all of these can analyze, manage, secure, and protect depending on what your environment needs and what is required in your policies. And Micro Focus was named leader in the UEM SMB market. All right, and Microplayer overall, and the source was IDC 2022. You can see we're in there, and some quotes here about what customers are saying about ZENworks. And again, thank you all for going through this and understanding and participating if you participated in this particular study, because you help support us, and we hope that we can support you in the same fashion where you get the most out of this product and it's cost effective for you. So here again is the protection vision, identity based on-prem or from the cloud. One of the things we're pushing towards in update 4 is some more of the on-cloud, being able to get that architecture in so that we can have it available when we go full cloud. Unbeatable return on investment, detect and respond to security events and sensitive company data on the endpoint. Okay, let's look at the roadmaps, which is really a great thing to look at to see what we've done, right? We've done some endpoint security, anti-malware, some patch management, endpoint encryption. There are links here, and again, I'll put this presentation in the link to it in the description of this recorded video so that you can download it and get to the links. But there's what's news and so forth in here. Service Desk 8.3.1, again, we've had token authentication and Azure AD user sources you can connect to now. So we're expanding into those cloud sources, being able to make it cloud-based as well. And of course, the lookbooks that link is on there as well. And then hybrid workspaces again. We're looking at those particular, not only The desktop containers, which is what it originated as. If you remember, it was ZENworks application virtualization, right? Then it went to desktop containers as it evolved, and now it's hybrid workspaces as it evolved into application streaming, taking those containers and streaming them to any device. And we have a couple of videos out there on that as well. Let's look at the releases coming up. This was just released November 2022, so I haven't updated to update 4 yet. But you can see we did extend the content management on demand. We did next generation patch management, enhanced security. You know, one of the things we want to do is being able to be cloud-based as well. So we're designing the architecture, which is part of the content management for that, in support of on-demand content delivery for all content types. And the next generation patch management, which is really more detailed and more effective, so you can move away from the bundle system and simplify delivery of patches. Advanced authentication for administrators, so using that NetIQ AAF-based multi-form factor authentication to ZENworks Control Center, which gives you that added security. Build foundations for future MFA support, and you're entitled to NetIQ AAF Lite. And the same will go forth with ZENworks Service Desk. These 3 bullet points will be the same going to the ZENworks Service Desk console. Separation of client and administration services. I haven't been watching the chat to see if there's any comments. Apologize for that. Just checking real quick. No. Okay. Separation of client and administration services. So being able to separate pieces of the administration so that you can build your teams up for bundle buildings and policy buildings and what kind of services and which primary servers and so forth. So that was just released, and we're happy to see that go forward. They did do remote management improvements, auditing enhancement for remote control and chat, centrally collect the remote control recordings and remote control chat information for improved access, and support for Android API deprecation. Some of the UEM for ZENworks itself, you can see this was released second quarter or second half of 2022 was update 3, but we have these coming in for update 4 and 2024. Again, cloud deployment option. We're getting the architecture taken care of for that cloud deployment option in ZCM 2024, which is going to be released end of year 2023. Service Desk multi-factor authentication. We're going to do the same thing with NetIQ. I already mentioned that. Simplifying request management and added console modernization for the CMDB. Those are the items, the items, types, and categories, those types of things. Also some details, enhance email templates, variables. In the ideas forum, you guys have mentioned, hey, I'd like to have a variable for this, or we currently have surname. I'd like a first name, last name, right? So you can personalize those a little more detail. So we're adding those in to the automated email messages. Quick call filter views. There's actually 3 or 4 different quick call types. Let's get them all consolidated into a single view, so you don't have to wonder where they are or what might be conflicting. And then the CMDB modernization. The first round of the modernization is going to be the AMI snapshots. Excuse me. So the roadmap is probably around March or so, we're going to have the 8.4, right? Which has these particular updates. We talked about quick call filters, request assignment to another team, but at a different level. You can currently do it to the same team, to another team, but it's always level 1. We're going to enhance that coding so it can go to another team member that might be on level 2 or 3. Because if you're escalating, you may want to give it to straight on up, not just back down to level 1 on another team. Calendar and holiday automation, you guys have mentioned and called in about, hey, these would be great to have. Let's automate this for each year. Let's readdress how we can get that so we don't have to go in and change them each time. And then, of course, 9, we're going to have some more CMDB modernization. We hope to have that floating save button in there, some database migration utilities and maintenance scripts so that you can easily maintain it if you're using that Postgres. Because sometimes as customers, we may not have a database person. And so being able to understand the database is not, we need to understand it, but, working on it. So we're trying to make that simpler. So we have some scripts for maintenance for you on the Postgres. And then obviously an updated technician dashboard coming up in futures. We're looking for a new dashboard. We have that pretty much laid out. It's going to take a little bit of detail and some coding to do, so we're kind of putting that out a little bit because we need to work on it for a longer period of time. Okay, and you can see CMDB modernization each one because each one it takes a little bit. We can't do it all at once. There's just not the capacity to do that. There's a lot of coding with a lot of tabs if you've been in there. So anyway, we're working on those to bring that to the next level. And then, of course, hybrid workspaces, being able to package once, run from anywhere, access data securely through applications. We do have 2 form factor authentication already in there. And then application packaging simplified, being able to have some more how-tos on that. Again, it's a application streaming as a low-cost VDI alternative. Even if you have VDI, you could supplement it with this. And for some of those users that may not need to have the full VDI experience, you can throw this in place. Corporate applications anywhere, and then cloud storage providers we've attached to Filr, OneDrive, Google Drive, and Dropbox. All right, network shares, and they map within the application itself or through the portal. All right, so we released 22.9, and it's not under development. It's actually released September, and then we're going to have some routing workloads, some native browsing capabilities, file-based application starting, and so forth. Actually, file-based application starting was released in 22.9. We pushed that over. So we're going to have some great new stuff for hybrid workspaces as well. So some of the market opportunities, being able to see endpoint and security and protection is growing on companies' radars, being able to provide them what they need. So again, the community is very valuable to us and to you to be able to touch base with your colleagues, how people are doing it out in the field, as well as for support to know what's going on. So security is more than just a data center, right? And being able to move it, and some of the market opportunities we've been working on going to the cloud for a while, we're getting there. So we appreciate your patience. Interest in eventually moving management and protection to the cloud, as I mentioned, as capabilities become more cloud friendly. And then things to continue to make their way onto your network, and you need a way to manage, secure, and protect them as well. So those are some of the market opportunities. All right, again, ideas is important. Architecture is very important, and getting that architecture groundwork done so you could do on-prem or SaaS hostable solution, leveraging modern services to dramatically scale and improve performance, and simplify and modernize the management of our UEMP solutions. Okay, and IoT devices. Inventory configure update and MDM based then extend. So moving not just to MDM based, but moving beyond that. Being able to secure device certificate management and per app VPN support. You got to have those regulatory standards managed and enforced. So being able to do that. enhanced monitoring, and dashboarding of security capabilities and automated responses to detect malware threats, and patching. Again, network-enabled PBA for ZENworks, full disk encryption, and iOS and Android device backup. All right, so that was the presentation that we had. It's been a big year. We have a big year coming up. We're looking forward to getting update 4 out there and 8.4 out there for you, as well as some the hybrid regular cadence on that. But we're really working hard. I want you to know for ZENworks configuration management to be on a six-month cadence or so. But do check into these particular community cool solutions and video information. We have just a myriad of collateral that's out there. This is a quick way to get your links and just go directly to them, to your lookbooks. Remember your November appliance, if you have an appliance, whether it's reporting server, service desk, configuration management, the quarterly secure patches came out in November. So be sure to patch your devices if they're appliances. And then there are other things that we threw in here as far as being able to view different articles and so forth. Okay, things that you may need to check into if you're using that in your environment. Again, community cool solutions and TIDs. So we have a bunch of new TIDs that came up. Imported users not showing up, or technician systems not present, users not present. ZCM, what about U3A? What about the .NET 4.8 issues, right? Being able to understand those. So there's a lot of community cool solutions and TIDs out there that have come through. Starting the agent with OSGI clean. We use this in support, this switch to be able to take care of those ZENworks agents. So here's some quick links to doing some of those things so that you can keep your environment clean and moving forward. Again, we want you to know the other live casts that I mentioned are Filr, GroupWise, Enterprise Messaging, and OES and iPrint. That's the first, second, and fourth Thursday. So we're going to dovetail ZENworks in about the same time frame on the third Thursday. And again, each one of these has a registration link that you can click on in order to do that. So if you have those products, Robin Redgrave or Ron Van Herk or Bob Reynolds will be doing these other live casts webinars for you. All right. There was a new webinar out there, hybrid work webinar work environment, which was released in November. The link is here, and it goes directly out to Bright Talk. You could then play that. That was with our last presentation or event that we had. The ZSD blogs are here. Again, there are some events. TTP had their event in December. It was an in-person, so we're starting to get back in meeting December 9th, 3rd through the 9th. So you can see some of those presentations by going out to the ttp.org. Bright Talk for UAM hybrid workers was November 10th, and some technical insights. So there's resources of events that you can go to, the conferences, and actually see those presentations as well, which is very important. I don't see much activity going on in chat, but I appreciate you guys here. We're making it short today only because we're getting ready to wind down, right, for the holidays. So I hope you guys have a great holiday. The next one's going to be on ZSD getting started, but I hope you can ring in 2023 New Year on a great note, and just hope that everybody stays safe, and I look forward to talking to you in the new year. All right. Cheers, everybody. We appreciate you and all that you do and being with us. Thanks, everybody. Have a great new year, and keep safe.